I'll discuss 63.6% larger checks in this video, as well as Social Security, which covers retirement and disability. A veteran who loses SSDI is still eligible for SSI and VA benefits. You can discover all the information you require in this video. Now let's discuss what's happening in this video. I'll provide you with some startling and unexpected facts on the approximate amount of your monthly Social Security benefit that you should be receiving. I'll offer you a range of figures, a variety of percentages, and all the specifics of this. As I stated at the beginning of this video, this will add hundreds and hundreds of dollars to the monthly income of the average Social Security claimant. As I said earlier, this is stunning information, but I'll lay it all out for you. I think this would be life-changing for a lot of people. So watch this video to learn exactly what's going on and what this would translate into for you, your monthly benefit, your checks, and your lifestyle. Folks, but once more, I'll go over everything in depth. Let's get started. But first, before we do, I would really appreciate it if you could do the following extremely quickly. If you're new, welcome, and thank you so much. Thank you very much for watching. I just want to ask that you kindly make sure to subscribe and click the subscribe button located directly below the video to join the other almost 500,000 viewers on the channel. What I can do right now to assist you. Things are changing extremely quickly, so I'm keeping an eye on all the headlines, researching, campaigning on your behalf, responding to inquiries, and pointing out anything else that might be of interest to you at this time. Tremendously busy time of year, and there is some unexpected information that I think you should know about, especially because everyone is currently struggling and living on a fixed salary. Fully get it, so anyhow, thank you so much for being here. Please make sure to subscribe below and join the other almost 500,000 viewers on the channel. I sincerely appreciate it. Now let's get started and speak about all the I hope you're sitting down because I'm going to expose some extremely disturbing information. Okay, this is ridiculous, so let me ask you this. How much do you think prices for all items should be? Details are exactly what I want to share with you in this video. And over the past 25 to 35 years, services have increased. Whatever you're thinking, I'll venture a bet that it's probably not high enough. You might be thinking of 20%, 50%, or 100%. You could guess all of these figures, and who knows? Maybe you're thinking 400%. That may be a little high depending on what you're talking about. But during the past 25 to 30 years, prices have increased on nearly everything by an average of 144.5. Since this is an average, some prices have increased by 10%, 20%, or even 100%, 200 to 250%. However, over this time, prices have increased by an average of 144.5. That's absurd, considering that there have been 25 to 30 years or more. That's a lot of price hikes. In other words, the cost of everything has nearly doubled. But we have to pay for it. That whenever we make a purchase, consider what you might have gotten for $1.20 in the past. For example, if you wanted to take your family out to dinner, you could have gotten anything you wanted for $1.20 back then. But now you can only get dinner for one person, and consider yourself fortunate if you can leave for $1.25. Yes, that is an absurd amount of money for such a basic dinner. But consider how much prices have increased over the past few years. Security or other fixed income payments are valuable, and the survivor spouse receives full benefits. I discuss how much you believe these benefits have increased in the previous, say, 25, 30, 35 years or so, going back to, say, the early 1990s. Now, to what extent do you believe these advantages have increased? I may say that they have increased by little more than 81%. All right, so this has led to a significant gap. Indeed, the discrepancy amounts to 63.6%, benefits being increased. Just consider that if benefits had been increasing at the same rate as the real high prices of inflation, they would theoretically be approximately 63.6% greater now than what they actually are. Prices have climbed by about 81%, which gives us a difference of 63.6%. Let me tell you something, though. When it comes to money, compounding over time is practically everyone's best friend. All of this would also be compounded. Have you heard me mention this in previous videos? A small amount of money on your side grows into a large amount of money very quickly. Well, I shouldn't really say that quickly because time is also on your side, but the point is that it's critical to realize that throughout this period of time, give it 20, 25, 30 years, give or take a little bit more. And if we had been receiving all of the rises together with actual price increases and inflation, we would be sitting on an average of almost 63.6% tire benefit now for almost everyone that would have been compounded over that period of time as well, which is insane. Instead of what you're currently receiving, we could be talking about hundreds and hundreds of dollars more for average beneficiaries right now. Let me just tell you that if a $1,000 benefit meant an additional $636 per month, would it be a significant change in one's life, or would that just be, oh, it's just water under the bridge. I don't need an additional $636 every month. Are you crazy? I believe we should all go on, be incredibly joyful, and fond of. I would be quite appreciative of an additional $636 per month at this time, based on the figures below. Again, these are just round figures, so clearly each person's experience would vary greatly. But you get the idea. My point is that this is crazy, and that many people's lives would be changed by it. So it makes sense why we hear about it so frequently. In fact, I see reports about it practically every day, and every day there are comments underneath. Below, I see seniors slipping behind every day. Duh. Why? Look at the data here. The statistics don't lie. It's obvious what's happening and why there are discrepancies between seniors and those who live on. This is not complicated science, yet fixed incomes are lagging behind. It doesn't take a genius or someone with any mathematical training to comprehend that if inflation is, on average, say 3%, 4%, or 5%, whatever it may be, then I'm definitely not a rocket scientist, occurs and the COLA increases by 1.2% or 2.6% annually on average, there is a disparity. We have a disparity since, as everyone can see, inflation is 3%, 3.5%, while the average rate of Coca-Cola is roughly 2.6%. Amazingly, over extended periods of time, the disparity reduces the beneficiary's purchasing power, and you can guess what happens. The beneficiary is 63.6% behind. We have solved a problem that no one else seems to have been able to solve in this, 10-minute film. Wow, we just solved this enigma right now. Out yet, but I believe they are aware of this. Now, this is just a theory, so I may be completely off, but let me just add this. We are aware that Social Security has had serious financial problems for a long time, many decades in fact. They passed legislation in 1983 to raise the retirement age since they recognized it was the reason we were having an insolvency problem back then. Yes, I don't really recall those old commercials, but you get the idea. This in the past, even though they faced financial difficulties at the time and enacted laws to extend the full retirement age from 65 to 67. Keep in mind that the reason for this was because Social Security was running. My argument is that even if they had done this, it's possible that they did it with foresight, knowing full well that this program would run out of money very quickly and we would face financial difficulties one after another. Our table on a regular basis because doing so would result in much more money being distributed to the beneficiaries. Well, in the example I just gave you, for a $1,000 monthly benefit, that would mean an extra $636 per month, which is a significant amount of money. Again, I'm giving round numbers here, but what is that $7,300 or more a year on average per beneficiary? That's nuts. It's a lot of more money. And yes, that would surely put a lot of extra strain on Social Security and the program's budget. In the latter segment of the film, I share some hopes and guesses, but you get my idea. Possibly all of this was planned in advance since, if benefits were truly updated for actual inflation, we would be facing serious financial difficulties. The bankruptcy that we're having right now as an insolvency in, say, 9, 10, 11 years, or anything like this, would have been happening a long time ago. It would have already been a thing. Of Social Security much more so than we already have right now. Again, certainly, the Consumer Price Index, CPI, for urban wage earners and clerical workers, is the reason why the COLAs are released annually, but we can see here that perhaps that is not the best representation of real inflation, is a valid question. Based on these figures, prices appear to be rising, and I believe that this is something that all of us are feeling.